Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by two returning guests, Brendan Fitzgibbons and Evyenia Trembois. Wow, I haven't said your last name.
Thank you. Hello.
Is that right?
Yeah.
There we go.
So happy to be here. This is my 80th time doing this podcast.
You don't even seem happy saying that. You're like, ah.
No, I'm happy to be here.
And we're here. You did something very sweet. You brought your foster dog.
Yeah, we're here with my foster dog. She's going to be the fourth guest or the third guest, the fourth member of the podcast today.
Yeah, you might hear her. She's scratching the shit out of herself.
She's
right
really
now.
scratching hard.
She's not like mangy or nothing though. She's a good looking dog.
She's so cute.
She loves to go really close to the camera equipment and make me anxious. That's like her favorite thing.
She likes to drag the cameras along with her. It's totally fine.
That's cool though. I mean, that's sweet that you did that. So what, I think we've had someone talk about a foster before. You hold the dog while somebody more permanent comes along, or like?
Yeah, so she was about to be euthanized just because no one was interested in her at the shelter at Modesto. And so I went to Modesto. I picked her up.
You went to Modesto?
Yes.
Wow.
Where's Modesto?
What is this? One of my stand-up tours? Modesto is like, what is that? NorCal it's kind of like east
it's
of San
honestly
Francisco.
middle of nowhere. Literally middle of nowhere. Where there's it's a high kill shelter. Same thing in Riverside. Riverside is a high kill shelter. If you can adopt or foster right now, do it, because the shelters are so overcrowded. And if you go there, you will cry and you will see the dogs just like begging you, please take me home. I need to get out of here.
Sounds a lot like an open mic.
That's why I do my stand-up there. I went to a dog shelter once, and it was like, honestly, one of the most depressing things I've ever seen in my whole life. Because you know what, nobody, like even a bad dog, you're like, oh, but he's a good boy. You know what I mean? Like a human, you're like, well, he probably did something horrible.
Well, and also, if a dog is bad, it's because it was trained to be bad.
It's never a dog's
humans.
fault.
It's never a dog's fault.
I don't know if I believe that.
Okay, here we go.
There's no bad dogs.
Let's see who's the asshole now.
AITA for saying
Danny
that.
What about a dingo? What about a dingo? If you get mauled by a dingo,
not all dogs.
If you get mauled by a dingo,
It's
then
always
what?
the human beings.
There's no dingo. Dingoes don't have human beings. They're wild dogs.
I don't care. It's still the human
You
beings.
blame a person for a dingo
Yes.
attack?
Yes, 100%. It's always the people, man, or it's the environment. Like if a dog's in a shelter, a kill shelter, it has to like survive. It's
Well, I mean, I really think about that as like, did you guys ever see that video? There's people who go to Mammoth with the ski resorts, and there's coyotes that just like go around the parking lot. And this moron goes like, come here, boy, come here, and tries to feed the coyote, and the coyote like nervously edges up and then bites them.
Yeah.
And
See the people feeding the bears honey. They're like, I don't know. I'm surprised it bit me.
yeah, like,
You
what a
fucking
shock.
psycho.
No, and it's like, we talk about trauma, but like wild animals are traumatized because they're wild, bro. Like there's no rules in nature. Nobody's like, well, how did that feel?
Yeah.
It's like, you just got eaten, dog. It's over for you.
Yeah, we're hilarious.
Okay, I don't know. I killed the momentum with that. All dogs are good. I take it back.
No, I mean, I hear you. I don't know enough about dingoes, but I just mean like a common dog on the street. If
Right.
it's an asshole,
Right.
it's show me the human being. Let's
Right.
talk. The human being has like a
I don't
knife
know
in
if
its
the
head.
audience can hear, but there's like a ruckus coming
She's
out
trying
of the
to get
kitchen.
water.
She's just going
That's
in the
Evyenie's
garbage.
fault.
It is. Everything she does negatively here is a reflection of me. Actually, you guys want to hear an asshole story?
Hell
of a
yeah,
guy,
baby.
Hell
a
yeah.
guy who is this the right place to do
We're
that?
on the bonus. Yeah.
Okay.
Bonus.
It's a bonus.
It was a joke, like, because we're on an asshole podcast. Of course, it's the right place to do that.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. Good joke.
Sorry, I guess I got to work on my jokes. Or maybe you need to work on understanding jokes.
I absolutely do. I work every day. I don't understand any
I
of
like when you say a
Brendan's.
joke and Danny just stares at you deeply for a long time.
Okay, anyways. So
It's like,
do you guys feel like it's kind of common knowledge that like most dogs are afraid of a skateboard whizzing past them?
It's my whole life is, I mean, I wouldn't say most, but many dogs will go crazy at a one wheel. Yeah.
it's the number one trigger and only trigger of my dog.
Okay, so
Yeah.
But you have a small dog.
No, I have a 63-pound
Oh, fuck.
beast. Yeah, he murders.
It's usually small and medium dogs, but go on.
I mean, even me, if someone just whizzed past me on a skateboard,
Yeah.
I'd be a little startled. So this guy comes past Ambi and she like immediately like jumps and then like he freaks out because he's
Yeah.
like, whoa, like is this dog attacking me? And I was like, bro, like don't skateboard past a dog. It's kind of like 101. And he was like, no, actually, you should just train your dog better. And then he starts actually actively trying to taunt her with his skateboard and keeps like skateboarding in front of her being like, look what she's doing, because she starts jumping. And I'm like, She's a shelter dog that I've had for 2 weeks because he keeps being like, train your dog, look at her. And I'm like, she's a shelter dog I've had for 2 weeks. She's clearly been traumatized in a shelter. And right now you're adding to her trauma. Is that what you want to be doing with your life?
You idiot.
And he like that shut him up real quick and he went across the street. But I was like,
so can you rethink your people answer now, Danny?
My people went nice. That really sold that. I love that look for you. That's what's going on in my head when I stare at you when you make a joke. He puts his sunglasses down and they're really sloppy. I mean, I've had a similar experience. So I was riding and this dog, a pit bull, kind of like lunged at me. So I like stopped so that I wouldn't go directly into the lunge. And then I didn't really know what to do. And this woman was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Just go. Just go. And I was like, sorry. Like, I don't have instincts for when a pit bull fucking lunges at me.
That's fantastic. Can you do that voice more?
Let's go. It's not a good joke.
Was it like a random lady or the owner of the dog?
I think it was the owner of the dog. I mean, she was, leash with.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was like a stranger on the street was like,
she was just expecting me to like, I was like, how do I know you have your dog restrained? I wasn't like moralizing at her like that douchebag skateboarder,
My new favorite thing is when women take 4 words into 1 syllable. You just kind of just did it. Fuck are you doing? There's this.
That's a good observation.
There's this YouTube commercial that always pops up. It's for Manscaped. And this girl goes, I got my boyfriend. She said, I just got, but it's 1 syllable. I just got.
Okay, wow. The dog
Cords are flying.
hit the recording equipment. Are we still rolling?
It's not all women.
We're still rolling.
It's just sometimes it's a specific vocal fry that some people can.
That's why the dog hit that, because you were generalizing about women.
Yeah, she didn't like that.
I'm sorry. I don't think it's all women, guys. I take it all back. She's a cutie. By the way, if anybody wants a cute dog, this dog is very cute.
Yeah, she's looking for her forever home for the holidays. When does this episode air?
I don't know. At some point.
Danny's like, it's going to air in July of next year. His dog is going to be long gone by then. Someone will have rescued it. Let me ask you guys this question. This is Am I an Asshole? Someone who wears a shirt that says who rescued who while they're walking.
A shirt? I've never seen that.
I've seen it.
I know people will like say that.
Because they rescued the dog?
Yeah, I've gone to dog parks where like an owner will wear a shirt that says who rescued. And immediately my first answer is the dog rescued you if you're wearing that shirt.
Well, because...
No,
what was that? I just got. Go ahead, Evyenia. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I don't feel like I rescued my dog. My dog Wolfie. She is.
Wolfie. This is not this.
Yeah. She's not. She was a shelter dog. Like, I adopted her, but I don't feel like I rescued her. Like, she was already rescued because she was at a no-kill shelter. Whereas with her, I'm like, yeah, I could say I did rescue her because she was about to be euthanized. So I feel like a lot of times people say they rescued their dog when I'm like, no, your dog was already rescued.
That's a great point. Someone actually did the work of actually rescuing them. Yeah. Bill Burr had that great joke.
What?
About like, did you pull your dog out of a fire or something like that?
I guess I feel like whenever people lead with like how they're such a good person, I'm like, how do I know that this is like the only good thing you've ever done?
Or if you have to tell people you're a good person, you probably aren't a good person, right?
Right. Like Evyenia is wearing, what does your shirt say? It's got like a Grim Reaper on it.
It says, no, you hang up. It's from Scream.
I think Evyenia is a good person because you have all those great events and you're helping single people find connections.
Yeah, I'm like the Make-A-Wish.
I do. I don't really know that I think Danny is, but I think you are.
That's so nice.
I actually really do. I don't think you're a bad person. I'm just not fully convinced you're a good person.
No, I think I'm neutral. I'm comfortable with neutral. I'm comfortable. We're gonna do a juicy up for you guys today.
Hell yeah.
This is the first time you've been in my apartment, Evyenia. How bad is this for the speed dating ladies? We can't let them know it's like this in here, can we?
I mean, you could shape it up. Maybe once a woman's touch is, but I feel like you shouldn't need a woman's touch, right? You can be the woman's touch.
Good point.
Like, you can have your own design eye.
Let me ask you this question. When you go into a guy's apartment for the first time, how much are you judging it as a reflection of him?
Oh, like 1,000%.
Okay, so you're like definitely clocking it the whole time.
So what do you infer about me?
What are you clocking about?
Like, what are the biggest sins?
I would say, I mean, for me, like number one thing would be like cleanliness. If someone's inviting me to their place, especially for the first time, like that's the number one thing I notice.
It's decently clean.
Number two would be
you're not gonna
I love the COVID sign.
Number two,
this isn't clean, or it is clean. Just be real. It's okay.
It's like lived in.
Lived in is bad. That was that was the nicest way to say it's not. That was actually probably the hardest,
but also
worst compliment, passive-aggressive criticism I could have heard. Lived in is horrible.
Oh, lived in.
I would rather have somebody tell me I'm a fucking pig than say it was lived in.
No, that's not it.
Welcome to Danny's Pigsty.
Lived in is so bad.
No, that is not. No, I feel like when you're good friends with someone and like, you can have them over when your place isn't perfect, right? Like,
yes.
And
so we're good friends at least. At least I got that out of it.
Well, I don't know that that's what I was saying. I was just making a general.
Got it.
No. Okay, I was just saying. Like,
how was his penis? It was lived in.
Oh my god, you guys.
Okay, go on.
No, I was just saying that like. You're not inviting me over here to impress me for a date. So like this is just like, I'm having a couple friends over. We're doing this thing. She wants some water very, very badly. The dog. I'm going to get her some because she's going to keep doing that to drink her water.
Okay, I'll take over. I did not realize how much women want stuff clean. And I think it's actually a good thing though for guys because it's good for us to know that. How do you feel?
I mean, I think I don't care that much personally about how clean it is. I mean, I'll hit a point where it'll actually like bother me, and then I'll vacuum and I'll redo the whole house. But yeah, there's just really, I don't like entertaining at my place. Like, I don't want to.
So then let's say like tonight you meet a girl and there's a possibility for following up. Where are you going to go? Her place?
I would bring her out. Well, yeah, I would if that was on the table. But if I had to bring her here, I mean, I would tidy up. I didn't really tidy up as much, but
it's also wild to me that you said that you didn't realize cleanliness was important to women.
At the level in which women care about it.
I don't think it's a big factor in attraction, though. I never brought a girl home and I felt like I lost her because my house is dirty.
I think the older you get,
push
the
back
more
on that.
I would. Yeah.
The older you get, the more important it is. I see it now. It's pretty obvious. That's why I gotta try.
Because you don't want to like go to a guy's place as an adult and feel like you're in a college dorm room.
Oh, devastating. Fuck.
So I think like
gotta get rid of that ramen. My Dave Matthews posters.
having a place that like basically a place that she would want to come over to. She would want to spend the night at. You know, that's kind of like what she'd be thinking.
I'm just so far away from that.
Women are nesters.
I agree with that. Like, that's more like a date 10 thing.
Oh,
like this is getting real. It's like.
But what about acting as if?
What does that mean?
You know, manifesting, like acting like this could be the 10th date. Like, what if you set up your apartment like I'm pretending like this? I could bring my wife here. How about that idea?
I'm down. Like, I would tidy up. Like, I can clean up in here and lower the lights and put on warm lighting and like put away some bullshit. Yeah. Like, not have a desktop PC just sitting out for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And I think it gets decent. I do think it's borderline college dorm room because like my fixtures suck or like whatever this piece.
You got a black light.
I got Amazon. You know, I got Amazon furniture.
He has a pet snake.
You know, I don't got any snakes.
My college roommate had a fucking pet snake. It was terrifying. Ugh.
The thing is, I was hoping for like a C-, you know. If I tidied up, could I get a C-?
Oh no, I feel like you definitely are at least a C for sure.
I'm at a C right now.
I'm feeling a C vibe.
Oh, I could feel a C right now. That's great. Oh, that means I could easily get to a B-.
Yeah, totally.
No, I think so for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have cameras and all that shit. I mean, and then this is a projector. This whole wall is a screen, and we can watch, you know, my sci-fi movies. That's all I watch. So
you make her watch Anchorman. It's nothing like college.
I like that you have like some books up here. Like that's nice.
Oh, you like that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm having a debate with a friend about. He's like, bookshelves are for books. Bookshelves are for books. You can't just put books like that. Because I have books on my mantle.
Or you just have The Game by Neil Strauss. The whole
I know, right?
40 copies.
I feel like it's like the decor.
I like this.
That's part. Yeah, that's.
I know it's part of the apartment. But
anyway, we're talking about things that people can see. Yeah, most people are just listening. But thanks for listening. Yeah, this is cool. This is great. I like this dog. Is just so she just always moving, huh?
Well, it's because it's a new place, so she's not settled.
Oh, so it's a
like at my apartment, she just chills.
She doesn't like apartments that are lived in.
Got me.
Got him.
We got a fun little sitch for you guys. Brendan's going to read the second situation here. AITA for embarrassing my father-in-law after I repeatedly asked him to explain his joke to me.
Yes.
But first, I love this one. AITA for letting my chronically late wife miss an event she was looking forward to by not rushing her because I wanted her to face consequences.
This is awesome.
Like, do we even need to read it?
No,
like,
this is
we
awesome.
got it.
I love this.
My wife, 32F, and I, 31M, been together 5 years. I'm fed up with her chronic lateness. It's annoying and grates me. To her, it seems like no big deal because I always manage to rush her by telling her the time at an event 45 minutes earlier. So the system is to lie.
45 minutes, bro.
She's never noticed because she's caught up with herself, constantly taking photos. That's why she's always late.
How many photos is she taking? An hour of what are the photos?
Who does a photo shoot pre-game?
Dude, on how long do these photos take?
Well, she has a decent following on Insta.
Okay.
Looking to grow as a content creator. I find it silly how she turns everything we do into a photo sesh. And at this point, I've just stopped agreeing to take her photos. We've had several convos about this. It's exhausting to always have to stay on top and make sure we're both getting ready according to plan, but she never does anything to address it. This time, I wanted her to experience the consequences of her actions. This month alone, we've been late to events twice, and this time was the first she realized I hadn't been honest about the timing because I used to give her an ETA 40 minutes prior. A week ago, I told her I wouldn't be doing that anymore, and I expected her to act like an adult. It was her birthday this weekend. I got her tickets to an event featuring several performers, including her favorite artists in the first act.
Wow.
So this would be like a concert where the opener. This time, as I'd already told her before, I didn't give her the extra 40 minutes. I expected her to remember our convo and store that info in her head. You don't need to explain how memories work. She did her whole influencer routine, decorated, set up the studio lights, because she didn't take me seriously. It was ironic. I didn't even feel like reminding her. I'm done with the mental burden of always rushing and planning. We arrived and she realized what happened. She got upset and started crying, asking how I could do this to her on her birthday. She said it seemed like I was liking the rise it got from her and asked why I couldn't set my ego aside for one day. I told her it's on her. I already made it clear I wasn't going to rush anymore, and she should have listened the first time. She said the whole point of the event was to see the performances of those artists who we just missed. She was incredibly upset and kept crying during the event.
On and off.
The ride home was awkward. I was in the downstairs restroom when she texted me saying I wasn't welcome in the bedroom. I ignored her message and went in while she was changing. She looked like she wanted to kill me, and I simply told her that her saying I'm not welcome was irrelevant because it's my room too. If she's uncomfortable, she could take the couch. She ended up leaving to visit her mom, and I'm considering whether I was an asshole.
This time thing feels like it's a showdown between these two people. My question is, does she not understand time?
There's people who are chronically late, and I've heard ADD as an excuse for this. But I have to say, there's a lot of this where I'm like, yeah, it's like kind of on you. I mean, I don't have the best attention span. I have a calendar app that reminds me 5 times for every event. I set alarms if I'm worried I'm going to forget. Evyenia, what say you?
These people are both very childish.
Yeah.
But I'm actually especially disturbed by him.
Wow.
Because he has been doing this for so long, right? Where he tells her the event is 45 minutes earlier than it really is.
They've been together 5 years.
Right? And he does this.
So I think it's fair to say he's been doing it for years.
So
they're married, right? Yeah.
At this point, it's become kind of an expectation where it's like she never really sees the consequences because they end up being on time because he's learned to do this. And honestly, it is her responsibility to time keep. But if at this point he's been doing this for so long that it's become kind of like this expectation where, and honestly, what does it cost him to do that anyways? Like to say a time that's a little bit earlier because he found that that's what makes her show up on time. I have friends where I have to do that with. I don't think it's a big deal, whatever. But he could have sat down and talked to her and been like, hey, this is bothering me.
I think
I don't like this.
He said they've had multiple conversations.
Okay. I missed that part. But either way, like to try and teach someone a lesson on their birthday when you get them this gift is just, it's honestly like you're punishing yourself at that point. You're punishing them and you're punishing yourself.
I have to say, I do think I'm lining up with you on like, this is a long-term pattern and like, it is rude of her and she's being kind of shitty, but I think some people are like this and like he enabled this behavior a long time. And I think like, I do think he can lay down the law, but I feel like he only recently started being like, yo, we're going to be late if you don't take account of this. And I'm like, maybe can we skip the birthday though?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Especially because like we're going to miss the whole point of the thing.
Yeah.
My thing with people who are chronically late, though, is I think it's a facade and it's not true. I have a friend like this because she's an actress, my friend, right? If I was to tell her her call time for this possibly Academy Award winning movie is 8 a.m., she's going to show up at 8 a.m. So it's a lack of attention that I don't really buy from this girl. Do I think what this guy did is stupid and petty? Absolutely. But I also think I don't buy chronically late people's stuff. Like, it's not that hard.
I think it's so rude to be late.
And it's so rude, man.
You're wasting someone else's time. And I don't think there's any contest of like just being late is rude. I think what is exactly his question? It is he AITA for letting my chronically late wife miss an event she was looking forward to by not rushing her because I wanted her to face consequences. Well, that doesn't really sum up everything that actually happened. Really, he sort of tried to purposely set her up to fail because he stopped doing the thing that he's always done, and he wanted to teach her a lesson on her birthday.
I know.
You are an asshole for that.
Warn her a lot. The more I think about it, I do see your side, and it is, but like it wasn't like he woke up on her birthday and was like, I'm not rushing you today for the first time ever. Like, that's not what happened. They were embarrassingly late. They were embarrassingly late to events 2 times. So that means probably one of those was his event. I don't know if you guys are like me. I hate being late.
Yeah.
Like
I love being late to your podcast, but not everything else. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, I like it.
But I think this was the first time that he didn't give her a different time.
No, I don't think so.
But let's also discuss why she's been late. Taking photos of yourself. That feels a little selfish to me.
Well, that's her right. I mean, I don't think the why of it is the problem for me. I'm just like, how much are you leaning on this guy? But wait, we're having a factual debate here, which is, was this... I think we agree. If it was the first time, that's too much.
Well, so he says, this time I didn't give her the 40-minute buffer. It was the first, which sounds like the first time. This month alone, we've been embarrassing late to 2 events, and this was the first time, and this time was the first she realized I hadn't been honest about the timing, because I used to give her an ETA 40 minutes earlier. A week ago, I told her I wouldn't be doing that anymore. A week ago sounds like a week before the event.
So this was the first time?
Seems like it.
I just don't understand, in what world is anybody else your timekeeper? Do you not have tethered to this reality?
I think it's really immature.
No, but I don't think that's what we're debating now. I mean, is the thing, right?
I mean, this both ways. Like, I would never expect someone to be like, "You're supposed to tell me what time it is." I don't belong to the functioning society.
Yeah, I don't think any of us are disagreeing that like they both, like, she needs to grow up, he needs to grow up. I think like interdependence is a thing in relationships. And so I do think that there are couples where like, okay, this person's like a little bit messy, but this person is more clean. And this person is like, makes up for it in this way instead. And this person makes up for it in this way. But I just think like these two need to break up. Like bottom line.
I like that.
I think
that.
Look,
I'm going to vote that too. Is there a divorce option?
I think that's absurd. I think they've been together 5 years and there's a lot of love here and there's a balance, but she was building up an emotional debt. And you know what? OP's issue is he let resentment, right? Because he resented this behavior.
Yeah.
He resented it because it's fucking annoying.
Resenting stuff.
It's really fucking annoying. And I think you are right, Brendan. I think a lot of people hide behind this bullshit. I have lateness issues. No, you are being disrespectful. Right?
Yeah.
Like people know they do it all the time. Oh, traffic. Yeah, traffic. You didn't hear? You didn't know about traffic prior? You didn't know there was going to be traffic? We all know there's traffic.
Yeah.
Like, give me a fucking break. And it's like, well, yeah, but you would show up. You would be early if it was important to you.
Like if she got a contract because of her social media influencing, she would be there 30 minutes early.
You know, and it's disrespectful.
That's where I'm like,
but my issue is I think that this OP wasn't being self-aware and this resent was growing and growing and growing. Yeah. And that turned into contempt.
Yeah.
And that is where this got malicious, and he knew that she would fuck this up because it sounds like it was the first time, and he knew she was going to fuck it up because it was a pretty jarring change from a very established behavior pattern, and he wanted to inflict harm.
Yeah.
He wanted to like really ruin shit for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the other thing is that, so then she's like, don't come into the room. Okay. So the next thing that happens is she kind of blocks the room off and is like, go sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
And then he just disrespects that. I'm curious where you guys landed on that.
I didn't like that he wasn't willing to give her some space when she was clearly upset. I understand that it's his room as well. But again, I just think that they're both so childish. I really don't feel like there's one person more than another where I'm like, oh, like they're kind of doing the right thing though. I feel like they're both very childish. I think where I give her a bit of a pass is like, it's her birthday. She's allowed to cry if she wants to. She's clearly upset, and he kind of like what you said earlier. He wants to inflict harm. I think the intent is kind of key here.
I think so. I mean, I think the issue is, and maybe to take his side a little, I think one of the reasons that he is seething, this is a move of anger, is that she can't take responsibility. And she's been doing this for a long time. And this was not, but the issue is he was a pushover for years. Like, I think this has been bothering him for a long time. And now he's like saying stuff, and then he cracked down really aggressively for her birthday. And I think that was because, like, I mean, it's everything Brendan's been saying. It's like, bro, like, what, we're going to explain to you how time works? Like, you're an adult. Track your own time.
I also think him going in the room is his way, probably weird, childlike way of trying to fix it, but he's not communicating correctly.
Well, I think, I read it more as being like, you're not going to call the shots here. You're not the victim. And I'm like, I get it. I think he's not wrong, but I'm like, I think that might have been a battle to not choose.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in battles, this context.
Read the room, dog. Yeah.
Because doing it on a birthday is just aggressive. It's aggressive. Like that is the one day where, yeah, you kind of expect to be treated like you have handlers. Like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, I think so. And especially because it was a gift.
Yes.
It makes it really weird to me. Like, I feel like if it was a thing where it was like, okay, he, wanted to go to this event, right? And she was running late. He could just, the way he could make it clear is like, he leaves her behind. He's like, I'm not going to wait for you. Different day, different time, different experiment, different situation.
That's a good point. Just leave. Yeah.
This was like, this is a thing we're supposed to do together. This is a thing I'm treating you to.
Yes.
This is a thing I got with you in mind because you would be excited about it.
Yeah.
So let me choose this particular moment.
There's also a level of masochism in that too, because it's like, you think you're going to have a good night, bro? Yeah. Like, you signed up for a horrible night. You know what I mean? Like at the concert, like how did he think this night was going to go good for him too?
Oh, you mean sadism? He wanted to inflict pain.
Yeah. No, and he also wants to feel pain too, because it's like, how do you think doing that to your girl and then going to this concert, you knew what was going to happen?
He wanted her to suffer because he's been suffering.
But then by her suffering, he's also suffered.
Like, I think he wanted to see this.
I don't know.
I think he wanted to watch her cry and have a meltdown.
How is that fun for?
Well, because he's angry. That's how he's been feeling.
But this is why I'm saying this is not a healthy relationship.
Yeah, but like, dude, how is that fun for anyone?
I think
that's also, you're at a concert, you just wasted a great opportunity to have a blast. It's like traveling and then being like, I'm going to take someone who fights with me the whole time.
I think it's survivable for the relationship, but like they both
that you're like, I'm out.
I think they both have to take a lot of ownership here. I think he needs to own it, but she has to own it too. Like, this is a really fucking annoying thing to do. I actually think we're aligned on this one. AITA for letting my late wife miss an event. I think because of the birthday, I think we are ultimately going everyone sucks here.
Yeah, that's my pick for sure.
Yeah?
Hard, yes, everyone. AITA for embarrassing my FIL, which I just learned is father-in-law. After I repeatedly asked him to explain his joke to me. I already love this. I, 27 female, used to be an escort, parentheses, hooker. From 18 until I was 23. I'm not proud of it, but I also don't give a fuck because I did what I had to do to keep studying and a roof over my head. I love it.
Hashtag America.
I think it's great. That's how I met my now fiance, 37 male, though he was never my client. Thank you for clarifying.
I'm not sure how that works. Is he like the booker or like the photographer?
We began to date when I was 25, and 3 or 4 months after that, his BIL exposed me, in quotes. No idea how he found out. We began to date when I was 25, and 3 or 4 months after, his brother-in-law, quote, exposed me. No idea how he found out. Good question. But there's no way my fiance knew, and thus we had to come clean in front of his whole family. How about that meeting?
Awk.
Yes, I did that. Yes, he knows. Yes, he doesn't care. It was 2 years ago at that time, and we got over it. After that, there was a span of 3 to 4 months where my mother-in-law and some of her fiance's aunts and cousin police their husbands when I was around. Oh, sketchy. It was really weird, though, to be honest, because these dudes were like 40 to 60 year old, and I wasn't that desperate. So my fiance shut their bullshit hard. And even though his family still gives me the side eye from time to time, we thought it was behind us. Fair enough. He proposed last year, and 5 months ago, we found out that I was pregnant, and we were really happy about it, and we told his family as soon as we knew. His sisters and younger brothers were happy for us, but his mom took me aside and begged me to be honest with her and asked if it was really my fiance's child.
Oh,
bro.
Wow.
Wow.
Don't ask that question.
That is wrong question. I was taken aback, but I just rolled my eyes and said yes. She gave me some shitty speech about how she just wanted to make sure and that she was really happy to be a grandmother. Well, last weekend we were at his parents with his family and some of his friends, and we were talking about the name. What to name it? How he might look, small talk. We will love him regardless, but there's always some, oh, I hope he gets your nose. Never mind. I like your eyes. Hope he gets some comments. This girl has great asides, by the way. And my father-in-law said that he and his children have a birthmark in the inner thigh.
Honestly, that's creepy that he knows all that.
He's just checking everybody's thighs. Let's take a look. Hey, pull down your shorts. Okay, good. Got them. So our baby might too. Then he said, quote, but how can we know from who he got it?
Oh, like who was the OG birthmark haver?
Who's got the birthmark? How can we know from who we got it? It may be from me, my boy, or my brothers. And he and his brothers began to laugh.
Not this joke.
My fiance got mad, and before he could say anything, I said, I don't get it. And my father-in-law was like, yeah, because it runs in the family. And I said again, I don't get it. Why would he get it from you? And he began to get nervous and said, because, it was just a joke. OP.
Is he trying to imply that he's had sex with her, but she doesn't know about it?
Oh.
Yes. Because she was an escort. That's the joke.
And I said, but I don't get it. And you all laugh. Please explain. It got to the point that some of his friends and said, hey, it's not funny. So he excused himself and left. Later, my fiance's brother-in-law came to me and said that I was wrong for embarrassing him like that in his own house, and that I knew what the joke was about, and because of my past, I shouldn't be surprised. Holy shit. Now they're all demanding that I apologize to my father-in-law.
So I think this is a class of thing that people do, which is like apologize to them for the reaction they had to being called out.
Yeah.
How dare you embarrass me with what I did?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's so unfair to her. I think this is understandably a touchy topic.
Their family, her fiance's family, kind of is secretly into this shit. I mean, the fact that her brother-in-law found out, that right away, I'm like, how?
How you know, bro?
How?
What websites you going to?
Yeah, dude, how do you know?
You like escort websites?
And the fact they keep making all these jokes, it's like they're trying to act like, oh, this is something weird, but they probably secretly all have had escorts themselves and they're just not sharing it with people.
I just watched a documentary about trafficking, and it's like 60, I forget what the percentages are, but like you'd think it's like, oh, like grimy. No, it's like judges, doctors. It's like quote unquote upstanding citizens who do this shit. But yeah, I'm like, why do you guys keep bringing it up?
This is also like the grossest joke to basically be like, you might have had sex with me.
Yeah, let's get into the joke. So before we go to the joke, what initially happened was brother-in-law exposed her.
Yes.
Which I think is already like not really necessary. I think it is okay to bring it up if he was truthful. And he's like, hey man, I went on an escort website. I was looking for a bachelor party and I ran into, Rachel. That doesn't seem bad to me. If that seems reasonable. He's just reporting. And then she's like, yeah, she used to do that. She used to do that when she was young to get through school.
Right. Yeah, I don't I don't think it's inherently wrong for him to ask about it. I think it's the way he went about it where it was like, oh, I'm going to expose you. That feels gross to me.
Well, yeah, because he was like almost trying to shame her and publicize it in such a way. And it's like, how's that relevant? How's that relevant to any interaction that we're going to have?
Yeah.
Like, why don't we talk about what kind of porn you like, Bill?
Yeah, it's probably really bad. There's probably horses.
That's where you jumped to that quickly.
He had that just ready to go.
Not me.
I mean, I watch porn just of horses.
Yeah,
there's no humans.
Why is it every time I want to share with you guys, this is a topic of conversation?
Did we talk about horse porn?
We talked about just porn.
Guys talk
I
about
do have horse art in the house.
I feel like every time I do this podcast, Danny talks about how he's off porn.
Yeah, I don't watch porn.
That's great, dude.
Okay, so then there were 3 to 4 months where mother-in-law and some of fiance's aunts and cousins police their husbands when I was around. I'm like, okay, so you don't trust, like the logic of this is so zany to me. I'm like, police the husband? Like, you don't trust your guy?
Like, he's going to just start having sex with her in front of everyone.
Spontaneously.
Like,
in front of everyone.
Yeah.
I hate this family.
I know. Like, it feels like, again, there's like a really weird backwards perversion, but kind of interest in it. It feels very hypocritical.
Actually, yeah, dude, I think you're onto something because I'm like, maybe the reason, because this guy found out. So he's on those websites.
That's what I'm saying, man.
So maybe there's a hidden secret where he has gotten escorts. And that's maybe why the wives are so much like, watch out.
Yeah, because if you're secure in your marriage, why would you be policing a possible escort at a family party where like it's like a 6-year-old's birthday party? Like, what do you think's going to happen?
It's crazy.
Blowing out the candles, everyone's hooking up. It's insane.
Meet me by the piñata.
You can't leave 5-foot radius. She's here. She's going to just start hooking up with you immediately.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen?
I got a Whopper. I'm going to pay.
I do. I mean, dude, I grew up in
I
grew up in environments like this. So I understand the paranoia. I'm not saying I like it, but there is also the undercurrent of everybody's human, and there's people are going to do stuff like this all the time. But the repression of it is weird. And
I think for me, it's like they're going so far with it. And I'm like, really, though, like, you know, I think men and women can go through a hoe phase. Like the fact that at some point this was her occupation to me, I'm like, so that doesn't really like say that much about her. I mean, to me, the story is I'm like, yeah, she took an occupation that is like difficult for a lot of people to do, but like it was actually pretty goal driven.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like aimless. Like,
yeah, I just think there's a really weird perversion with it. The family, like bringing it up repeatedly. I don't understand. Like, cause it's one thing, it's the mother-in-law, then it's the father-in-law. And then the fact that all the brothers were laughing at that joke. That's so uncomfortable. My grandpa used to make really weird jokes and all of us were like
what?
Well, you know, he had Alzheimer's, so we can give him a break.
So the jokes followed the Alzheimer's.
He used to just like say, like just really inappropriate shit, and we'd all be like, ha, ha, ha.
But he was like, his brain was leaving.
Yeah, and we weren't like, hey man, don't embarrass my grandpa.
And what would he say? Like sex stuff? Like
sometimes he would say sex stuff.
Sometimes hook up with your wife.
Sometimes it'd just be like to serious racism. It's fun.
I like your wife. Mexicans.
Yeah,
like, can you pick one?
There might be Korean. The word Koreans might come out.
That's some like that feels like old racism.
That's a deep cut, as you're saying.
Like, Koreans. What are you mad at? Fucking.
What are you mad at Koreans?
Bro, we love Paris baguette. Watch your fucking mouth.
I also feel bad for her fiance. He's in a difficult spot too. Like your whole family's being a dick. But he's like, it's his family. Then he's got to like deal with her. Like she's obviously in a tough position too.
It's just not relevant. I'm like, look, like it was like a thing that she did. You know, it's a touchy topic. I think people are allowed to have touchy topics. I think it's common sense that's going to be a touchy topic. Now let's get into this fucking, I just wanted to make sure. You know, and because I can see this because this goes to plausible deniability town. You know, the mother, right? The mom takes her aside and begs her to be honest and say, is this really my fiance's child? And I think there's people, this is like something people do where it's like, this is aggression.
Oh, yeah.
This wasn't a question. This was textually, it was a question. Textually, the question was, is that really the kid, right? But like, this is just aggression. And it's saying like, we think that you're a hoe, basically.
Oh, 100%.
It's shitty and it's like domineering behavior. It's not just a question. Like this was putting her in her place.
No, there's so much weight behind what she said and cornering her like that. And the fact that it's the mom, like, ugh.
I'm just curious. And I think like you kind of brought this to light for me. She doesn't talk that much about her fiance and like where
he falls.
Yeah, because I think like it's sort of his responsibility to put an end to this. And like if his family won't cooperate, then to like remove them from these situations.
Yeah.
And she said at one point he got mad, but she seems like she was kind of left to fend for herself a bit.
I think that's fair. I think he should stand up for her. And I actually think, that does fall on him. I think it can be tough because it sounds like...
Of course.
Well, it sounds like he's getting ganged up on by people older than him, including the mother. It's like, you know, the sort of patriarch, matriarch energy of this is like, well, they're being shitty. So let's get to the joke, though.
Hey, yeah, sorry my dad just kidded around about possibly having sex with you. What the fuck? It's so awkward.
Dude, it is so awkward. How do you even deal with that? So then the joke is, how can we know from who he got it? It may as well be from me, my boy, or my brothers. So the joke is like everyone in the family has had sex with her.
It's like not even a funny joke.
It's
like regardless of it being like taboo,
I don't know.
it's just not funny.
It is kind of funny.
I don't think it's funny.
You think that should we hire someone to punch it up?
I think it's kind of funny. I'm not going to sit here and say it's not funny. No.
I don't think it's funny.
I think what's funny about it is that it's obviously ridiculous.
I know men like this and they're disgusting.
And they're running the country.
Yeah.
That's true. They are running the country. Yeah.
I just feel like, in what world does he think that is like just okay to even say? There's so many things to talk about. It's also like everyone versus her.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
sucks,
Exactly.
dude. You have no allies. Your husband's kind of cucked. Like he's not speaking out enough.
Exactly.
So like,
Such a hot mess writes, you know you're not the asshole. They're sexually harassing you aggressively in a family setting. Honestly, I would have added, quote, it sounds like you're implying we've had sex. I don't understand why that's a joke you'd make to your daughter-in-law. Father-in-law clearly knows he's wrong. I say push back as hard as you can.
also, they're not boys. Like that's something like you say to your boy as a joke. Like the father-in-law and her are not like best friends. They have this like amazing rapport. Clearly she already feels super alienated.
It was shitty.
And so that's where I'm just like, nah. Like that's something you say to like your boy as a joke when no one else is around.
That's true. I mean, what woman really would be comfortable with a joke like that? I can't.
Like, hey, yeah, remember how we almost fucked you? Like
that's not funny in any world.
Funny,
You're right,
dude.
You're right.
Remember sitting around a dinner table? There's bread rolls, and someone says that people are eating green beans.
You Bad Striking writes, YTA, you were literally a prostitute. Imagine how hard that must be for your boyfriend.
Imagine how hard that must be for your boyfriend who chose you. Let's like clarify. And
well, it's only hard because people keep bringing it up constantly.
His family has undoubtedly made him feel that. I'm sure he's had his own issues with it. This person is like just making things up about the boyfriend. You had an opportunity to confront it in a meaningful way. How? By getting like sexual jokes made about her, and you chose to just make it uncomfortable and he made it uncomfortable and create a bigger rift. That may be fine by you, but you're putting your boyfriend in an even worse position. I don't like how this person, whoever you are, Bad Striking, you're the asshole. You are making this all about how the boyfriend feels when clearly he chose to be with this person, knowing her background, knowing her history. Yeah. He made that choice. He's an adult man who made that choice. We don't need to feel bad for him. Yeah, it sucks that his family's being an asshole and a jerk, but like he's brought himself into this situation too. Like he has agency here.
I just had this thought, like, what if this guy was actually the fiance? He's just like,
this is the brother-in-law. This is the father.
This is the father.
Bad striking on Reddit and crushed it. He's like, yeah, no, it's your fault. I think almost anybody who reads this story feels for the woman, except for like the 7% of very angry men who like Jordan Peterson, who are gonna get mad at me right
they're
now.
bullying her. The whole family is bullying her and being mean, and it's like,
yeah, and I do agree with you that I think the mom shit is so aggressive. I think it's equally as bad, like what the mom did, because it's also so manipulative too. It's like love couched in shit. Like, I care about you. You're still a whore though, right? Like, it's like the worst passive aggressive way to corner a woman. Like, yeah.
AITA for embarrassing my father-in-law after I repeatedly asked him to explain his joke to me. I really think it does say something like this family has a relationship with escorts, because I'm like, you guys are still, it's been years. It's been a while that she's been involved. Now they're getting married. She's pregnant. And I'm like, damn, you guys are still, like, I can understand like,
I know, she's pregnant.
A wayward joke flying in like the first year of their relationship. And they're like, we got to clamp down on that, Chuck. Like, enough. But like, it's been years and you guys are still bringing it up. I'm like, bro, like, relevance.
What else is she supposed to do? Like,
I think we all agree on this.
Yeah, I feel bad for her.
We need a new word. Like when someone is embarrassed, when it's just like because she didn't embarrass him. She was just like,
he embarrassed himself.
Yeah. What was the joke? How is that embarrassing someone, to clarify? Right. Like, no, you were embarrassed because you made a shitty fucking joke. We get asked to
explain our jokes all the time during our shows.
Yeah. It's mortifying. All right. I think we're all lined up here. It's not the asshole, and he is. And maybe the boyfriend is too. You got to stand up.
I want to meet the boyfriend. I think
we need more information.
I think he's young. He's in a tough situation. But I do think he needs to be a little
No, he's not young, bro. He's 37.
You're right. That's
he's 27.
I take it all back.
What?
He's 27, but yeah.
No, wait, is
no, I met my now fiance. He's 27.
All right, 37.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the wrong
37,
one.
he needs to step up. I give you a break if you're 27.
He needs to step up.
Yeah, let's go.
By the way, Brendan, you're 38. Did you just say that?
I'm older than that.
He's also way older than her, actually, which makes it worse.
I'm not going to tell you that.
I don't like I like this less and less.
I just learned that 38 because I just turned 35. Fuck. And are you older than me or younger than me? Slightly older? I can't ask a woman that. I hate myself.
You think I'm older than you? No,
I thought you told me you were. I thought you were like a month older than me.
No. Why is age all of a sudden the worst thing that can happen to you?
It's not. I just don't. I don't know why he thinks I'm older than him.
You're obviously young. I thought you were 25. So I learned though 38's the median age. So I'm really dreading that because that means once you're 38, you're older than most people.
The median.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Okay.
But right now I'm younger than most people. But older than you.
I'm gonna live to
apparently.
be forever.
Yes, you're way older than me.
Stop it. That's not true. Is that true?
Yes.
I'm way older.
You're
than
like
you?
years and years older than me.
Oh, you're such a liar.
No, I'm not.
You're
okay.
a liar.
Anyways, let's move on.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up on this one.
All right.
AITA for telling my boyfriend to stop smoking inside after previously allowing him to do so. I, 25M, moved together with my boyfriend, 27, after dating for over a year. He's been a smoker many years, and he was smoking in his own apartment that he had when I met him already. And I must say, it's never been a problem. And I always accepted that because I viewed it as part of his identity and didn't want him to feel like he has to change in his own four walls while he lives in a giant square room as well, which is unfortunate.
Thank you for saying four.
While planning to move together, he obviously asked me if he could continue smoking inside. After doing it for years, he just couldn't imagine something else. And due to my love for him, I allowed him to continue smoking inside. Because of this, we picked an apartment without a balcony since he wouldn't need it.
That was a mistake.
And it was much cheaper. Now, after a few weeks, I'm starting to regret my decision. It's such a difference permanently living in a smoker household than just visiting one a few times a week for a few hours. During those visits, it really never bothered me, but now it's bothering me. Even though I'm a non-smoker, the health aspect isn't what bothers me the most. It's the smell. Everything I own smells. I underestimated the sitch. Previously, when visiting him, it was just a few clothes of mine and he had the smell of cigarettes, but it faded after a few hours or days when I got home. I told him my feelings and asked him if he may smoke outside or at a window. He got mad and said no, since I previously allowed him to smoke inside, and that was what we agreed on. That's what we agreed on. Okay. I understand his POV. I love him, and I don't want to be such a basic topic to tear us apart. AITA.
Did they sign a contract?
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Go off.
No, I just don't like that she was like, she did the very...
There's no she. This is gay. It's a gay couple.
Oh, sorry. He was like, I told him my feelings. I asked him if we may smoke outside. He might smoke outside or at a window. It was like the right thing, the right way to go about it, right? Like very compassionate, just like sharing feelings. And he goes, no. Because I was previously allowed to smoke inside.
Also, we're talking about smoking, something that we all know is horrific for everyone. We're not talking about juggling. So like, I believe that you should be able to revisit a topic that is destructive for everybody involved.
First of all, I think we're going to hit a reality is real here. Like you just nailed it. It's not juggling. It's like, this is first of all, just for ignoring health, disgusting. Yeah. It's disgusting. I'm sorry. And if you're a smoker, thanks for listening. If you're addicted to cigarettes, you're addicted to cigarettes. I've been there. But like, it's disgusting to me to smoke indoors. And I'm like, of all the things you can do, go outside.
Most people are like, at least most people who I have encountered who smoke, I guess this wouldn't be everyone, just anyone that I've encountered, can acknowledge that it is like a gross habit, and like they know that it smells bad. They know people wouldn't want to be around it. Like, it's crazy to me that this person who like apparently loves their partner is treating them like this, where they're like, no, I'm not gonna like budge on this.
I think so. And I mean, how it's obviously a huge difference to go over to someone's house for a night that smokes, you know, depending on how well ventilated that shit is. But then to live there, it's like, yeah, it sticks, bro. That air is just sitting there.
And I feel like we don't do this anymore. This isn't 1974, you know?
Well, you know what I've learned is this is a European thing. They'll do that shit.
Sure.
I dated this girl briefly
I could see that.
in New York, and it honestly gave me the ick. I went back to her apartment and she lit up inside, and I was like, I can't. I gotta go. That's disgusting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, it affects your other partner so much. It's not like a little bit. It's like if you went out and somebody dumped, you know, orange food coloring on your clothes. every night you went out with them, you'd be eventually be like, hey, sucks. Because like your whole clothes.
But even worse, because secondhand smoke is so bad for you.
Yeah. That's
it's like a health thing too.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you're saying is valid as well, Evyenia, like this idea of like, so I'm now having a change. You're allowed to change your mind. And I think the thing is like, he said it was fine. That's what he said. This wasn't a trade. This wasn't an agreement. He was just like, yeah, I think it'll be fine because it's been fine. And it's like, well, no, but the circumstances changed.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was going to be like.
No, yeah.
How could you know? Never done it before.
Right.
You know?
Living with somebody.
I feel like he's being way too rigid and just not understanding like, yeah, bro, this sucks. Like, and you're disgusting.
And things change, dog. That's part of being in a relationship.
I'm trying to think of it as like, okay, let's say instead of a smoker, he was a musician and he was like, their partner was like, their partner was like, oh, you know, like I practice like guitar every day. And they're like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. And then like, you know what? Actually, this is really annoying. Like, can you stop? Like I could see in that situation where they're like, well, listen, like this is like a huge passion of mine. Like I can't really, like, I don't have a recording space to go practice. How can we like make this work? But this is different because this is like a health issue now. Yeah. So I think like it completely changes the tables where it's like, I don't really think there needs to be a negotiation. I think it's like, hey, like actually, you really should be going outside to do this. And that should have been a thing from the start.
That's the thing. It's like, oh, I'm a musician. You want me to jam outside? It's like, no, that's not really realistic. Or like, I think a dog is another example. Because, right, the range of dogs, like some dogs are silent and relaxed. And some dogs are the dog you brought here. I'm just kidding. But like, yeah, you know, like
perfect.
I can imagine someone being like, yeah, it's fine if you have a dog. And then it's like, you know, we all know those dogs. And it's like, well, like this isn't what I envisioned or what you explained or what I even pictured. And it's like, yeah, you have a right to pivot at that point. What's a reasonable compromise? You can't put the dog outside during winter. That's cruel.
No, it's like you committed to, it's kind of like, oh, I committed to being a stepfather. Now it's like, actually, never mind. I didn't realize how much work kids were. That's when it's like another living, breathing being, you can't really like change your mind.
I don't want to be a father.
I'm thinking about it now. I think smoking would be probably the worst thing, right? Like that your roommate did all the time. What would be worse, improv? What would that drive you more crazy?
My troop is coming. But that doesn't linger. Once they're gone, they're gone.
What would be the worst?
Oh, there's zip zap zop in the air.
I do think smoking.
I think it's the worst.
Yeah.
Like this is not
it's potent.
Like drinking, it just affects that other person.
One time my friend probably smoked a third of a cigarette in our kitchen and I came home like 8 hours later and I was like, who the fuck smokes in the house? It still smells.
No, the lingering,
it's potent.
It's way worse than pot. Pot at least goes away.
I like the small pot.
Yeah.
Street Carrot 7442 and no assholes here. You told him it was okay, so I get why he'd be upset. Smoking inside is vile, and I guarantee you smell like smoke all day when out, and that's never nice when you don't even smoke.
I disagree. I think there is an asshole here.
I'm just like, look, if you're going to smoke and you're going to do something unhealthy, I get it. That's fine. We've all been stuck before, but I'm like, don't double down on smoking inside. That's really gross. And like, yeah, you should force yourself to go outside. You're doing something gross and it takes 10 minutes to smoke a cigarette. So go outside. You're getting too comfortable. Like I like donuts. You know, I'm going to get a donut. I'm going to get at least 3 donuts a week, realistically.
Nice.
Now, I'm not going to get a box of donuts and bring them home so I don't have to go to the donut store. I need to penalize myself a little bit. Come on. Like, you got to be trying. You can't just smoke and act like it's fine. That's crazy. You're killing yourself.
And someone else, too. Yeah.
Is that fair?
I'm just thinking about donuts now.
Let's eat one after. Koro Kumanu writes, as a compromise for the moment, perhaps you get an air purifier. Yeah, you get an air purifier. Could he restrict smoking to one room? Okay, I like that. Well, hey, I mean, it's something.
Well, I guess we don't, like, if it's a 1-bedroom apartment.
Go in the smoke room.
Where's the smoke room? Bro? Yeah, it'd have to be like a house with multiple
Go to the bathroom.
rooms.
Yeah, like in what world is it not lingering other places? It's just not possible, I feel like, unless you have a house. With a wing, get your own wing.
In which case, if you have a house, then you also just have like a little outdoor yard.
Yeah, just go outside.
This one's kind of hard. I don't know. It is his place. I mean, it's his health. It's his right. The person agreed. I think his reaction, I guess I could, the reaction was kind of like, nope, bye.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you live with someone, you're going to have to compromise. I guess I can soft ding on that, but I'm like, it is his house.
But it's not just his, it's both of theirs because they picked a place out together. It's not like he just moved in with him.
Yeah, and they had an agreement. I mean, but I'm kind of like, if he was like, yeah, and it's my place and this is what I'm used to, and you said it was fine, so you discovered that it's unacceptable, and I've discovered that I'm not budging. I'm like, you know, it kind of is what it is. I don't know. I don't think he owes him a budge, but I do think the reaction being so uncompromising, I'm like, you can't do anything for this.
It's not a compassionate response.
Yes. Right. It's an asshole response. It's too much. It's like, oh, okay, so you're gonna smoke poison sticks inside. That's more important than making me feel any kind of compromise or hurt. I think that's asshole-ish. I think I'm ready to sit on that. AITA for telling my boyfriend to stop smoking inside after previously allowing him to do so.
I'm saying not the asshole.
Not the asshole he is.
At all. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Much love, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.
A-Town. Down.